Afternoon all. Hope you're all ready for another fishing trip. Another day netting after herring. Hopefully we'll get a few more. This time we're going in my boat again. Just going for the high water. If you could please press subscribe. That don't cost you nothing and that make the channel do a lot better. If you could please do that, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you very much. We're just shooting the 2-inch nylon nets over the side. They're going away nicely. Look. There you go. I got about 10 nylons here. I'll just shoot this fleet first. We're a little bit early, about 20 minutes before the high water, so we are very early really. I don't know if you can see there, but most of the nets are sunk nets, but the last couple are surface nets. You can see the floats on the surface. They're actually the wrong way around. I like to put the surface nets close to the beach, but we hauled them the wrong way around last time due to the wind, so you just got to deal with it. I took the other monofilament nets out of the boat. They were 2 1/8 and I've gone back to 2-inch nylons because now the fish are spent. They ain't any size, they were little old herring, and them monos don't really catch anything. So I stuck another fleet of nylons in now. They're all sunk, just like the other fleet. Hopefully we'll get a few more with these 2-inch nets in. We're just hanging on the end of the fleet. Hardly any wind, the turbines are barely spinning. And you can see all the seals on the Scrooby, and that red buoy is the old shit can buoy as we know it. That's where they dump all the sewer from the sewage works a couple of miles inland. It's very fine sediment they put out there. That's not much. It's not like years ago where they just dumped everything in the river. That's really fine treated sewage, all chopped up. To be honest, that do the sea good. That do just feed, and that's all feed for shrimps and bits and pieces. That kickstart the lower part of the food chain. People say sewage is bad, but not always. If you look at the plotter, look at a few fish there. They look like sprats, but we ain't got no sprat nets. And them marks look like herring. They're sitting about 20 foot deep, so we might be able to touch them, but we'll see when we haul. They always say finders are lie boxes, and most of the time they're generally true. Well, that's the lovely town of Great Yarmouth. You can see the old Oasis Tower, and then in the distance see the power station kicking out a little bit of steam. That's based on gas. There used to be an old coal power station there, but they knocked that down in the early 90s and rebuilt a gas power station, and they run a gas pipeline all the way to Bacton. Must have cost a fortune, but that's been pumping electricity out ever since, and the gas has got to be obviously a lot cleaner than the old coal. What we need is a few more power stations in this country. That's what we seem to be lacking at the minute. Instead of shipping it from abroad or buying it from abroad, we've got to be generating it ourselves, don't we? Well, we shot a bit early on the tide, and you can see the inside fleet has gone right round with the tide, but the outside fleet is a lot better. The inside's gone round a bit, but that's fishing lovely. So we're going to haul the inside fleet, and then that'll be ready to shoot for the first of the ebb, and we'll haul the outside fleet on slack water. That's a plan, isn't it? Well, we've got 2 choices. So far. Oh, there's one. That's nice to see. Give me a little old spent now. Well, that's the 2-inch nylons hauled. Not better today. We must have at least a couple of stone there. Well, I put the nylons in because most of the fish were spent, And yeah, there's still a lot of spent to them, but today there's still some nice fish amongst them. Like, nothing wrong with that one. There's still some bit better ones amongst them, but if you use the 2 1/8 monos, you're losing all the little ones. And as you can see from last time I went with my boat, we had 8 herring. We've only hauled 1 fleet and I've got a couple of them. Well, it's not a huge amount, but for this time of year you can't ask for too much. That's just lovely to be out here. Look at that, flat calm day like a mill pond. There's a few cormorants coming through. There's going to be thousands of cormorants at the minute. I've never seen so many. Well, we're now going to shoot these nets for the first of the ebb. I'll put down lights on them as you can see, but hopefully we should all be done and dusted by hauled and everything gone by dark, but just in case it's nice to know where your gear is. We have got radar to find it, but that's a lot better just seeing it with mark on eyeball. Save a lot of problems and hassle. That's the nets doing nicely over again. Nylons are a lot easier to work because they're soft and supple, where monos are springy and bloody horrible. I love it when we get back to winter fishing and get back on the nylons. They're so much nicer on the hands. They're just generally most of the work, most soft and supple. But the monos are springy, spring everywhere, cut into you, catching everything. But they are bloody good fish catchers. Alright, we'll just continue shooting these and go back and haul the other fleet and we'll show you what we get then. Well, that's the Dan finally over. We'll now go and get the other fleet. It's now slack water, so we'll go and haul the other fleet what we shot a bit further out. And there you can see them. That's the inside end, the outside fleet, and then loads of cormorants now migrating home. Do just about see the other Dan. They've gone around a little bit with the tide, but they stay pretty straight. I'm happy with that. They fish lovely, they have. A little bit further off and a little bit more tide on them. Cool, look at all them cormorants. There's bloody hundreds flying around. I don't think I've ever seen so many. And you looking behind us. Don't know if you can see very well. So we'll zoom in. See, look, there's hundreds flying through everywhere. They must be feeding on the sprats. I suppose there's better feeding on the sprats than it is the poor old roach and freshwater fish. They've had a hammer in the last few years, haven't they? Poor old things. There's a hell of a lot of them. A lot of cormorants eating a lot of our freshwater fish at the minute. Some of these fisheries are really suffering, especially our natural rivers. They really are struggling with the amount of cormorants. We're now sitting on the outside end of the outside fleet we shot. Even though the tide's finished in the beach, there's still a little bit of tide out here, so we'll sit out here for another 10-15 minutes until that tide finish. And then we'll start hauling these. Hopefully we'll get a few more fish in these as well. But it's a cracking night to be out here. You couldn't ask for any better. It's like a bloody mill pond. I wouldn't fancy swimming. We don't look at we're that far off though, but I wouldn't fancy swimming it. That buoy there, the shit can buoy, that's 3/4 of a mile off virtually. It's a long distance if you had to swim it. But luckily we got a boat, so we didn't. Well, we just hauled the nylons are off a bit, and what a surprise! We must have 20 stun in them. That really surprised me for this time of year. We started cleaning them, filled about a box up. There's 2 half boxes there, and we decided if we keep cleaning that'll be dark, so we decided to run them. I'm glad we did. We got about 20 stone. It's lovely to see. I never had 20 stone this so early in the year. Normally don't get that till late February. But the seasons are changing a lot, aren't they? Well, let's go and get the other fleet. Probably have to run them now because we'll run these and then we'll go on. Well, we just hauled the other fleet. There's a few in it, but not very many. But to be honest, that other fleet was enough what we wanted. There's probably about 20 stone there. That's enough for us. You put too many on the market and the price bit was shit. At least for 20 stone you still get okay money for them unless someone else put a load on there. But you got to look at that now. Look at that. There's like a sheet for mica in it. You couldn't ask for a better night. Windmills are barely turning. That's stunning. Well, I better start motoring home. Now just winching the boat on the trailer. Coming on lovely, sitting on the buoys. Ain't got far to go. Another 6 foot, 8 foot. That'll be all on the trailer. But what a lovely night. That is cracking. I'm glad to be on the fish in the end. We didn't want to be out there pissing about in the dark really. It's a lot easier to clean on shore. Manhand on the boat on the beach in the dark and fanning about. That's nicer just to do it when we get back. But see, the boat's now on the bilges. The pellets are now going to pop out. And that'll be jobs are good. Well, we're finally finished cleaning. We've got 5 half boxes really. I haven't weighed them up yet. And then we just got about 10 kilo of selected large, the bigger ones. I'm happy with that. That might be getting them for 20 stone. But I'll weigh them in a little while. You don't want too big of boxes on the market because the small boys who like them for their vans, they don't want too much at a time. So, well, I'm ever so chuffed for that, but we'll weigh them up in a minute. Just got to run the nets back in the boat because they're still on the floor.